Hello YouTube, welcome to part 2 about this tutorial about how to scrap corded phones. Now we will be scrapping the second phone. In this case it is a Codaphone. I've never heard about this brand, but it looks pretty old, so let's scrap it. So first, let's check something out here. So if we take a look, lift up the cover, and get greeted with a pleasant surprise. It appears to be a instructions to load a tape into the thing to record. So this thing has a micro cassette in it. That's pretty cool. So this thing should be a fairly interesting little teardown, scrapping. Looks like this thing records voicemail onto a tape, if I recall. That's why there's a little button down there that says messages. So, zoom in out here. So, put that back down. It's cool to get a little micro cassette. I'm not gonna look into it because it's private information, but I'm just gonna keep it because it looks really cool. Anyway, so like the previous teardown, all we gotta do is first pull out the little connector. It's a little too deeply recessed. And it's different because it has some buttons, so hopefully we can get some gold on those buttons. Looks like a little switch here, pulse and tone. And so then we go underneath to the side actually, and we remove that connector as well. So that's wire. Of course, like we did with the previous teardown, snip off these wires, and because they contain gold. Do the same on the other side. So now, put that to the side. Get a nice little collection of gold-plated connectors. I'll be showing another video how to remove those gold-plated connectors. It requires a little bit of long fingernails, but you could still do it with a small flathead. So put that to the side with our wire. And now we're going to repeat with this phone line here. This phone line's super short, and so we just press on the tab once again, and we remove that piece of wire, and we snip it on both ends, and you got yourself some clean wire. So if I keep hitting the little tripod, it's a bit of an annoyance. I don't have that much space. Anyway, so now this thing's pretty heavy, so let's just pull up on the Codaphone cover, make sure there's no screws, so we can flip this thing upside down, and we're greeted with some screws. There's one. Two. Three. And voila. It's easy as that. Man, look at this thing. It's pretty bulky. So like we did with the previous one, just separate all of the screws. After we remove all of the things that connect together. We can just snip it, work our way across. This will be a bit longer of a video. Alright, so we've separated the two ends. Let's work on the main board area first, like we did with the previous video. So, this is a pretty old low-grade board here. So, first of all, we can remove this little jack here. I think we can. There we are. So we pull it up on the jack, slip that connector off, then to our connector box. So now we just remove these two screws here and there, if we can. Oh dear, it's too small. Alright, well, then, that was unexpected. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. I got the nice tool. I'm really limited in my tool selection because for some reason they've all disappeared. But anyway, so that will do the job. It's fine. And look at that, just like the previous video, we are assaulted with a phone call. Alright, well, I'm back. Looks like we're going to be enjoying some Asian food tonight. I love Asian food. It's something called kimbap, which is basically a Korean dish. It's really delicious. It's basically like sushi. It's like a little sushi roll. It's really yummy. But anyway, back to scrapping. We got a little low-grade board here. Little switches. This one for some reason appears to just be, this one on the right is pretty flexible, but this one does not want to be at all. Oh, there it goes. Anyway, so you can just slip all these wires. So low grade. Put that to the side. Put that right there, so you can kind of see what it looks like while I work. So now I'm just removing some extra wires. I'll move some stuff from part 1 away. Okay, there we are. So, now we're going to remove this other little connector. Comes out like that. Go. Snip. And we've released another gold-plated connector. So now, getting to some complicated stuff here. Here's our main board. Let's see if we can use this. No, we can't. Use this gun then. There we are. So now we're just removing some screws to get to the main board. Oh man, that's hard. This guy's stuck. Unusual. Okay, this one is removed easily. So just take a look and see if there's any other screws we can remove. Looks to be this one's annoying screw that doesn't want to be removed. Seems to be the last one. Let's hold this board down. Unusual. Unusual. Looks like this piece does not want to be removed. I'll be right back. I'll see whenever I come back. I'll hopefully have this screw removed, or if not, you'll just see this in smithereens. Alright, sorry about that. I did have to break the board, but we got it removed. So this is considered low grade as well. It's pretty old. I mean, seriously. If you take a look at the date code on the chip. Just hope this camera can focus. But yeah, there we go. You can see a B after a positive on that big chip, and 9006, which reading the date code means it is the 6th week of 1990. So this thing's even older than our previous board, which looked like this. This piece was only 1993. It's nothing compared to this one, which is 1990. So very nice. So, on this board here, there's a really old piece of paper. But underneath that, nothing. So this goes into our junk plastic. So put that with our low grade. This little guy here. So now, moving on to the main board here. This thing's crazy. Alright, so we got a tape drive mechanism here. Little wheel, little pulley. And we got a big chunk of wire. So first, what we want to do is, while I was looking around for tools, I found good old red. So, we just unscrew this to screws. This pressure should go by pretty much faster than last time. Anyway, we got that removed. You can pull up on the speaker. Come right out like that. Keep the plastic on, or just remove it. So that goes with our plastic as well. And so now we got some buttons here. So if we pull back on the buttons, you can see just a little bit of gold plating there. Very nice. Not much at all though. Rubber membrane goes to our trash, like last time. And we can snip these wires. I got my fan going up there because it just stinks from me breaking the board. So I got a really old vintage LED right here. Really old. Most of them just have a round dome to it, but that one's flat. Kinda like a top hat. So this guy goes with our low grade, but I'm saving it for just a minuscule amount of gold plating. So now we're gonna remove our microphone. Come off from assembly. He's gone with our steel. So now we just snip the wires off of our speaker. That big chunk of wire. And so now we will now remove the speaker, which has some copper on it. Steel. And the other piece has some steel as well. So now we can just pull up on the speaker and it's gone. Put that to the side with your copper ring motors or just pull with your steel. Depends on your scrapyard. So now I'm gonna get to the main tape drive mechanism. So I've removed this bit. It's just some junk. Looks like a twist tie. So now we're getting to the good stuff. Snip off some wires. And just trace the wires back to their original location. And I see a big solenoid or a big copper coil inside there. Inside this little box. So we're going to remove another twist tie type enclosure here. And put a snip wire here. Snip a few there. And we got a big bunch of wire. So now to get the tape drive mechanism out, I'm going to have to undo some more screws. Basically, any of the big brass colored screws are the main screws that we want to get rid of. So in this case, the one I just moved here, there, 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 and that should remove the entire unit. Mainly tape drive mechanisms are mainly a couple motors, copper, steel. That's pretty much their entire thing. A bunch of plastic for the gear and clockwork. Tight mechanics. So look at that. This end here, which is connected to this, there's some brass. It's not gold, but it's brass. Make a lot of money on that. Sarcasm. Anyway, so now this tape drive mechanism comes right out. See, that's where the two heads were, where the micro cassette would go. It should go right there, or maybe the other direction. I'm not too sure. Yeah, it's this way because there are these heads here that read the data off the tape and write data. So it would go right there. I just moved it. So this bit is plastic. So look at that big solenoid. Very nice. So now, I'm going to remove these two screws to get access to the big solenoid. There we are. It's a nice little solenoid. I might save that just for the look of it. Or I might just set it for copper motor. I'll remove that little spindle. Heavy steel. And there's the big coil itself. It has thousands of turns. Pretty sure hundreds of turns. Most likely. I don't know. Pretty cool looking though. Put that to the side. See what else we can do. Can remove this little motor right there. Guy's not being removed. Try another screw. There we are. There we are. That's it. There's the first one. Come on, are you seriously kidding me? You want to be this way? Alright then. So now go. So we just remove this little rubber band type gear thing. And now we got ourselves a nice copper motor. Oops, sorry about that. That's our wire. And this as well is our wire. Copper and motor. And this whole thing I'm just going to leave as some steel. Because it's not worth removing any of the heads or anything. Cause this is all just solid steel. However, this little circuit board might have something. Let's find out. Appears to be a little head. This looks like nothing. Let's put that to the side. But interesting thing, this thing moves the tape. Kind of like what a floppy disk does, you know. Pushes the little head up and down, so it can read data in different parts of the disk. Similar to this, because they're both magnetic media. Anyway, because if you were to remove a floppy disk, you would find a little magnetic disk in there. It's just like black, kind of like on the strip of your credit card. That big black strip, that's magnetic material, and that's where data is stored. So, yeah, pretty much that's all for this little phone's, how should I put it, the body, I guess. But anyway, the front part of this, the handset. So to take out the handset, I think we'll just remove these two screws. We're nearing completion of our teardown for today. So now, this guy should just come right out because we've removed two screws. do this. Yep, there we go. That's a piece of plastic. But would you look at that? Big, nice circuit board here. So, first, let's remove our piece of gold here. Slip that. Put that into our container, which is getting quite full. And I'm gonna snip off that wire. It's just endless wire, I swear. Just more pieces of wire. We got another little switch to salvage parts. And let's move these two screws. Oh, I forgot. They don't want to be removed. Okay. So sometimes electronics just want to fight back at you, you know. They don't want to come off when you want them to. Anyway. Next we're going to remove this top part of the speaker. Gotta hurry because I got a low battery on my camera. Sorry if it cuts off before the end of this teardown. Just in a hurry now. Gotta run fast. Sorry, got Sonic the Hedgehog, which is pretty crazy. There we are. Remove that flex cable. There we go. Here's our low grade board. And this button board up here should have some goodies as well. Wire. The speaker should come right out. Oh yeah, that guy should come right out. And there we go. That's our speaker. It's not worth me taking apart in my opinion. Anyway, there's some more wire. Motor. Take out this guy as well. I think this is the receiver, like, piece where connects and lets the machine know that you return the receiver back where it's supposed to go. That's my guess. Not too sure. So, gonna remove these screws here to get to the button contact board. Hopefully should have some gold on it. There's one time I got this old corded phone, had thick gold on it. I mean, really nice gold plating. Remove that. Pull that out. Now, the moment of truth. And would you look at that? Just touch gold plating like the previous one. But there's still gold. Yay. Membrane pad, trash. And that piece just holds this piece together. So I'm not going to worry about removing that screw. Now, there we go. This is the last piece we'll be removing. And that'll be pretty much it for these two imported phones from the 90s. Turns out there are no 80s phones. But anyway, well, one of them was kind of, this one I'm describing is 1990s, so I mean, I guess you could consider an 80s phone. Anyway, wire again, and steel. And so that's pretty much it for this teardown of all these phones. So got some nice wire, a couple low grade boards, but I'll show you what kinds of things you want to check on your low grade boards. What parts contain precious metals and what parts don't. So on this connector board here, you got your little ceramic capacitors, the disc ones. Those contain silver in the solder and on the little disc in the middle. So also you want to pay attention to the little connectors, like the little how should you put it, those little handset notifier relay. That little circuit has some silver contacts on it. I have another video coming up in the future about me getting the silver contacts off boards and collecting them and eventually covering the silver out of it. But anyway, so that's one thing. But you also want to pay attention to the IC chips, which are these black boxes here. So black rectangular things are basically kind of like miniature command processing units kind of thing. I don't know how to explain it, but these guys have gold bonding wires in them, sometimes even silver bonding wires. And then you also got the board itself, which needs to go to a special recycling facility. Don't just throw these into the trash because they contain lead, you know, and just a whole bunch of other things like cadmium that you don't want to put into the waste stream, which just goes straight to the dumper and can leach its hazardous materials. So always put that into the proper places. But that's on this board. Second board, this board here, like I said, you got your IC chips, 6 of them on this board. You got your copper bearing motor here and there, and oh yeah, don't forget that little one too, right there. And you got your disc capacitors, pretty much the same thing on this board. Oh yeah, little piece of aluminum right there underneath that little transistor, which might also have some gold in it, but I don't go for the transistors, I only go for the IC chips. And so that's on that board. And on the third board here, you got ourselves possibly some silver contacts in this little button, like little switch. Got your IC chips, and you got your disc capacitors. Pretty much the same thing on all the other boards. On this board, of course, you got your gold plate, little wire. Same here. And on this board, nothing that special, unless you want to get the switches, which may have some silver in them, but I don't think so. But anyway, so that's all I have for you guys. Don't forget to also collect your gold-plated connectors for future processing and removal of the pins. And that's all I have for you guys. So I hope you enjoyed this video, part 2 of the complete 2-phone process. Please like, comment, and subscribe for any future videos that you will never miss. And I hope you'll see you guys later. Bye.